I'm Dr. Bob Onder, Congressman from Missouri's 3rd Congressional District. After a productive district work week, we're back in D.C. and hitting the ground running. Tuesday was the 3rd anniversary of the Supreme Court Dobbs decision, which reversed Roe v. Wade, which in 1973 legalized abortion on demand. On the same day, I was deeply honored to be appointed as co-chairman of the House Pro-Life Caucus. Established over 40 years ago, the Pro-Life Caucus works to promote life-affirming policies and ensure that all life is protected from conception to natural death. The Pro-Life Caucus counts dozens of members in its ranks and has been at the center of every pro-life fight over the years, including the prohibition of federal funding for abortion. The caucus has 4 co-chairs, Representatives Chris Smith, Andy Harris, Michelle Fischbach, and Kat Kamick. I'm honored to join them. I've dedicated much of my career in public service to the cause of life. In 2019, I was a principal author of House Bill 216, the Heartbeat Bill, which Missouri Right to Life called the most important pro-life bill in Missouri history. I also fought to protect taxpayers from being forced to fund abortion businesses like Planned Parenthood, a cause that was vindicated just this week in the Supreme Court's Medina decision. Another hugely important Supreme Court decision came on June 18th. The court delivered a monumental victory for children, families, and common sense by affirming that states had the authority and the responsibility to protect minors from irreversible harm masquerading as health care. No boy or girl is born in the wrong body. That's what's being sold to vulnerable children as affirming care, but is really a dangerous and ideological driven form of medical malpractice. Administering puberty blockers, wrong sex hormones, and performing life-altering surgeries on children is not medicine, it's child abuse. I commend the lawmakers of Tennessee, of Missouri, and 20 other states in standing up to this madness. It's time to end the influence of the radical activists and the medical profiteers who are exploiting confused and vulnerable children. Doctors and adults who perform these practices have no place in positions of trust. This ruling marks the beginning of the end for the transgender industrial complex's grip on our laws and our schools and our children's lives. I'll continue fighting in Congress to protect America's youth and restore sanity to our institutions. That is why I introduced H.R. 2387, the No Harm Act, designed to preserve parents' rights to decline sex change drugs and procedures for their children, protect the rights of healthcare providers who decline to provide these treatments, and protect taxpayers from being forced to fund the chemical castration and mutilation of our kids. Another issue I'm working on is that of airline safety. I've joined U.S. Senator Ted Budd and others to introduce the Pilot and Aircraft Privacy Act, or PAPA. This bill concerns the use of data from a technology known as Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast, or ADSB. As a pilot with years of experience using ADSB, I understand the game-changing impact it has on aviation safety. By communicating an aircraft's identification, airspeed, heading, and altitude, ADSB has dramatically improved situational awareness for pilots as well as the real-time data air traffic controllers use to keep us safe. Unfortunately, some third parties have taken advantage of this data to infringe on privacy and impose and collect exorbitant landing fees and file frivolous lawsuits targeting general aviation pilots and travelers. These uses of data for purposes other than air traffic safety act as a deterrent for pilots to equip their aircraft with this potentially life-saving technology. So my bill prohibits the abuse of ADSB technology and protects its proper use, which will make us all, including commercial aviation travelers, safer. We have an obligation to protect the data privacy of all Americans from bad actors. That is why my colleagues and I are fighting for that. As always, it is an honor and privilege to represent you in the U.S. House of Representatives. I'll be back in my district for events and parades and meetings over the Independence Day holiday. On July 4th and every day, let us remember the great price our founders and generations of brave Americans have paid for our freedom. Thank you, and God bless America. I'm Dr. Bob, and that's my prescription.